What's up guys, my name is Sub, welcome to SubStanceFtbl, and do I have some substance for you today? So in today's video, we'll be looking at the Liiteguard Mouldable Shin guards. So I'm going to be talking about the science behind them and why they're able to do what they do. If you're unfamiliar with them, I've got a link to the original video from Liiteguard in the description of this video, so check that out, open it up in the new tab and come straight back here. Now before I get into the meat and potatoes of the video, be sure to like, subscribe and turn on bell notifications if you're new here. I basically post content based around football and apparel, more to do like the techie and the science side. So if that's your thing, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to hit 100 subscribers by the end of May, so please hit that subscribe button and like the video. I'm a few minutes in now, and I've yet to use a meme or a joke to make the great Phil Dunphy proud. So what can I do to make this video somewhat corny from here on out?
Bruh, look at this dude.
Now back to the shin pads. So I assume you watched the video I told you to do before, so now I can start explaining. So I'm going to explain to you three concepts. So number one would be why they go from rigid to rubbery when you put them in the boiling water. Number two would be why they can be molded and remolded several times. And number three would be why they go from white to colourless when you put them in the boiling water, and why they go from colourless back to white again when you take them out for them to mold to your shins. Now I know what you're thinking, what makes me qualified to talk about a lot of this stuff, seeing as a lot of this information is not even on the Liiteguard website itself? So I'll give you two answers really. Number one, mind your business. And number two, I have a master's degree in material science and engineering from Loughborough University. So that's also how I got this free lab coat and this book here. So as you can see, definitely worth the 40k debt. Now starting off with the shin pads and explaining why they go from rigid to malleable when you put them in the boiling water. So it goes like this, but first of all let's see what the Liiteguard website says. So the Liiteguard website says that the shin pads are made from a special plastic material which has a low melting point that becomes moldable at 62 degrees Celsius. So I can't confirm what the actual plastic is, that's not really important, but what is important is the 62 degrees that they do mention here. So what the 62 degrees Celsius that they do mention refers to is not the melting point of the plastic, but what it refers to is a phenomenon known as the glass transition temperature. So I'm going to use my book that I showed you earlier to get a definition and see what they say. So it says the temperature at which upon cooling a non-crystalline ceramic or polymer transforms from a supercooled liquid into a rigid glass. So in layman's terms, above 62 degrees Celsius, just until you get to the melting point of course, that the plastic material itself will be very flimsy, malleable and moldable. So that's how it can then be molded to the shape of your shin. And then when it reaches below 62 degrees, it gets very rigid and stiff, so it can be protective as well. But it will be in the shape of what it was before when it was being molded. So that's how it acts like a shin guard, etc. So the second one will be the reason why it can be molded and remolded at will, pretty much like over and over and over and over again. So the reason behind this is because when you have plastics, they usually split into two different categories. So number one is thermoplastic and the other one is thermosetting. So in terms of the Liiteguard shin guards, they're made from a thermoplastic plastic. So, you know, that means they can be molded and whatever. So the reason behind this is because of their microstructure. So thermoplastics do not contain any crosslinks in their microstructure. So that means they can be heated and, you know, reformed and reshaped over and over again. Whereas with thermosetting, they've got these crosslinks that can't be, you know, melted down. So like if you were to try and melt it the same way you do the thermoplastic, it would end up burning instead of like, you know, melting and then being able to reform. So like, you know, it doesn't work like that. But with the thermoplastic, which the Liiteguard shin guards are made from, it works like that. So that's why you can mold it and remold it at will. Now the third and final concept out of the three would be why they go from white to colourless when you put them inside the boiling water. And when you take them outside the boiling water, they go from colourless back to white. So bear with me, because out of the three, this is going to be the most complex of all the explanations. So what you need to understand is that polymeric plastics, their microstructure is made up of long molecular chains. And within the microstructure, you have two regions. You have the amorphous region and you have the crystalline region. So in the crystalline region, the molecular chains are tightly packed together and very ordered and are able to scatter light at their boundaries. Whereas with the other region, the amorphous region, the molecular chains are very disordered and spread out like spaghetti, and they don't scatter light. So that makes it gives you the transparent, translucent kind of thing. So with the Liiteguard plastic, it's a semi-crystalline because no plastic is 100% crystalline in that sense. So with the Liiteguard Shin, when you put it inside the boiling hot water, which is above the transition temperature, glass transition temperature, like we said before, the ordered crystalline regions, they expand and become more disordered. So in turn, the plastic itself, the amount of amorphous regions inside the plastic increase. So that means the amount of light scattered decreases until you get rid of all the ordered crystalline regions inside the plastic itself, and then you're only left with 100% amorphous regions, giving you the transparent color of the shin pads once you put them inside the boiling water. What happens when you take them out is that now the temperature goes below the glass transition temperature. So what happens there is the reverse of what I just said. So the amount of ordered crystalline regions now increase, right? And the molecular chains go closer together and pack together more tightly to increase the amount of crystalline regions again. So the amount of amorphous regions in turn decreases. And since there's more crystalline regions now, that means they're able to scatter light again. And since we know if it's scattering light, that means light can't pass through it, giving you opaqueness, and hence why they go from colourless back to white. Now, just to summarise the three concepts I've just explained. Number one, the reason they go from rigid to malleable is because you're putting the shin pads in an environment which is above the plastic's glass transition temperature. Number two, the reason why you can mould them and remould them several times is because they are made from a thermoplastic. And number three, the reason why they go from white to colourless is because of the increase in the amorphous regions within the plastic microstructure when you apply heat to the plastic itself. Also, I probably should have mentioned this at the start of the video. YouTube, this is not an ad for Liiteguard. I am in no way promoting their products in any way, shape or form. I've not been in contact with Liiteguard prior to making this video. But you know, Liiteguard, if anyone from there is watching, you know, I like your grip sock, so you know, I scratch your back, you scratch mine, you know. Yeah. Anyway, I realized some of the words I put in, I didn't really explain, so I'll probably put some of the words like amorphous, crystalline, I'll put them inside the description. So I'll put those in the description and then you can actually read what they mean. And that is it for the video, guys. Hopefully you found it informational or informative. Yeah, informative is probably the right word. Yeah, so you know, hopefully you know what a glass transition temperature is. So all you need to know is how to understand the stress strain curve, and you'll probably be on your way to becoming a materials engineer yourself.
Really? No?
Like always, if you thought the video was sublime, like the video. If you thought it was subpar, still like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. And as usual, follow me on my socials. I've got them there on screen, but I'll probably put another link to them in my description as well, so check me out there. Me and my friends, like I always say, we have a podcast called Elrondopod. Please check that out. We're also on YouTube. I'll leave links to that in the description also. So once again, I'll see you on the flip side. My name is Sub. This is SubStanceFtbl, and see you later.